So welcome my new Swoop partner, Clark. What do you think of the game, mate? It was pretty insane, wasn't it? Just close. I predicted that it was going to be close, but the good teams find a way to win, and thankfully we're a good team. Play the intro. So as I said in my preview video, I knew this game was going to be neck and neck. Carlton seemed to play like it's a grand final against us, and we kind of went into the game thinking that it seemed like we were just strolling in thinking that we were going to win. Carlton applied the pressure early. It was like neck and neck up until that last 10-15 minutes of the actual whole game, where we kept getting repeat inside 50 entries, and that repeat entry, causes pressure on the Carlton's back line. I think we scored 7 in that last quarter, and it's unheard of for us to actually finish off the game strong, so it was really good to see. And as much as I hate to say it or just don't want to say it, but all credit to Carlton. They came to play, like I just said, we just strolled in thinking that it was all over already before it even began. Everyone was like, yeah, 80 points, 100 points, we'll smash them. It was never going to be like that. Carlton always play well against us. For some reason, they're coached really well against us. They know what they do. They flood when we have the ball, and they peel back when we don't. They were really good on the overlap for some reason, getting into space, handballs over the top. But thankfully, we turned it on in the last quarter, and we got away with the win. There were times in the game where it looked like Carlton were just going to run all over us and go on with the win. In that last quarter, they were 10 points up. There was probably about 8 minutes left, and you could just hear a hush in the crowd, well, from the Collingwood side anyway, and you think, if we could lose to anyone, as if we're going to lose to Carlton after everything they've done this year, which is pretty much nothing, how well we've been playing this year, and all these thoughts come into your head, and it's a horrible feeling. It was just that second and that third quarter, they got on top of us. They were better in the clearances, better through the centre. And like I said, they were just running. We looked like we were just in second gear and just didn't want to get out of it. And for some reason, we have a tendency to play poorly or play as well as our opposition sit on the ladder. So you'll notice that for the bottom 6 or bottom 4 teams, we don't put them away. We play to their standard, in a sense. And we never used to do that, but it's happening in the last few years. I think it's not that it's egos, but it could be just like, all right, we're going to win anyway. Let's just cruise. Let's not get any injuries. But, that obviously can't happen because what happened yesterday happens. Carlton nearly beat us, so we can't let that happen again. But another game where our inside 50 counts didn't reflect on the scoreboard. No scoreboard pressure. Inaccuracy is killing us. We went in 69 times into the 450. Only took 32 shots at goal, which is like less than 50% conversion rate. Or not even conversion rate, just less than 50% shot rate. And you can't win. If I say you can't win games like that, we did win it, but if you're playing better opposition, you're not going to win games with that sort of inaccuracy. Also, I'm sick of hearing about this free kick count. We were 24 free kicks and they were 8 or whatever it was. But usually when it's like that, more often than not, it's because the other team who's got the low free kick count is just slower to the ball, or they're just making more mistakes. And clearly Collingwood capitalised on that. So I'm not of that, the umpires went on our side, The umpires didn't give Collingwood 25 inside 50s in the last quarter to Carlton's 5 or whatever they got. That's the team. That's not the umpires. Beating Carlton is always a good time, but beating them when they were up in the last quarter, when they had hope, had belief, all the Carlton cheer squads were all getting cocky, that is a good win, and it can show that when we really need to, we can dig much deeper and get out of that second, third gear and really put our foot to the gas. So Callum Brown, I know I've been harsh on him these last couple of weeks, but that was his best game in black and white yesterday. 21 disposals, went out over 70% efficiency, and kicked 2 goals when it counted. He had a few score assists as well, and he just looks to be like a genuine player, and he's obviously cemented his spot in the best 22. Don't know how much more I can say, but Grundy has to be the best ruckman in the league. I'd happily give him a blank check and say, put any amount that you want, as long as you're with us for the next 10, 15, 20 years, whatever it may be. He is arguably Collingwood's best player, and we can't afford to lose him. Yesterday, he had 25 disposals, over 45 touches, and kicked 2 goals. He's the second player to have ever achieved that feat of those 3 stats combined. And it's just a testament to what a magnificent player that he is. As harsh as it sounds, I think it's all over for Ben Reid. He seems like a genuine dude, but he looks to be slow on the ball, doesn't give us much inside 50. He copped a little bit of manhandling from Casbolt, couldn't get a clear jump at it, but when he did, he wasn't offering us much. They tried him down back, he took a great mark, but that was pretty much it. He's a bit too slow for the ruck, where Cox would take that rock spot from Grundy to give him a little bit of a chop out. But unfortunately, that's just our depth in our forward line at the moment. Checkers is up there. If Cox is out, the only person that can go in there is Ben Reid, maybe Max Lynch, but again, he's an untried rookie or untried young player, so we don't know how well that's going to go. And Will just doesn't seem up for it. I think that says something about our depth. Just because someone's really good in the VFL doesn't necessarily mean that they'll be good in the AFL. You're not going to expect someone to, or a rookie or a young player to get 30, 40 disposals as soon as they come back in. Will's only had 12 disposals, but didn't affect the game. He had a couple of tackles and stuff like that. But I noticed that he only played 50% of game time. I'm unsure if that's an injury or because his fitness wasn't up for it. But like I said, this is something to do with our depth. I thought we had a deeper squad than this. With Beams out, Adams out, Wells, who knows if he's up for it. He's doing well in the VFL, but like I said, doesn't necessarily correlate to the AFL. Hopefully Sire comes up. He's one that we need in that midfield. So Swoop votes. 1 vote, Phillips. Probably one of the better games that I saw him play. Yes, he did a few, dumb things. That 100-metre penalty, don't even want to talk about it. It wasn't really his fault. Kicked a couple goals when it counted. And he's just a running machine inning. He got over 35 disposals, one of the highest disposal getters on the ground. I just really liked how he went about yesterday. 2 votes, I'm going to go with Adam Treloar. 34 disposals, 8 clearances, stepped it up in the last quarter where it counted. Those repeat inside 50s, those contested possessions as well. Only played at about 80% of game time, obviously just managing him. One of our most important players yesterday and one player who helped us get that win. 3 votes, of course, Brodie Grundy, our best player yesterday, arguably one of our best players of the season. Like I said, over 25 disposals, over 45 hitouts, 2 goals, and that's really a typical game for Grundy. It's 2 games without Cox, without that real good sort of backup ruckman, so he went at probably about 90% of game time, and he just keeps on going, He's a worker bee, he just won't stop. We've got to stop with this complacency. It's not good. It's not going to help us win games down the back end of the season. Back end of the season, tired legs, tired. We can't expect to pull something out in the last 10, 15 minutes of every single game. We've got to put these lower teams away, bury them. We have the chance next week against the Saints. Who I'd like to see come out, I think Wills will come out, I think Reid will come out, and I think Greenwood will come out. Maybe Main, I know he's got that, he's had a bit of that concussion, friendly fire from Steele's boot. Hopefully, we'll see how he goes. It'll be either Greenwood or Main, would be one of those, but 3 players I feel like are going to come out. Who I'd want in? Aish seems to be someone that we're missing. He plays off that halfback. Greenwood's been playing off halfback recently, so that'll be a straight swap there. I hope Sire comes in as well, and I hope Cox gets over that ankle injury. He'll come in for Reid and bring on the Saners next week. So until the next video, like, comment, subscribe. I say the same thing. I want to know your opinions. Share this around. I'd love to get over 50 views on this. Also, I just got my 50th subscriber the other day, Reedy. Hopefully it's not Ben Reid after what I just said to him. But thank you so much, 50 subscribers, so happy. But until next time, I'll swoop you later.